Where Did It Come From 53? Rise of the Machines. A Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. This special is in the slot formerly occupied by Snowstorm. Where's the grunge got to? Maybe he got drafted into one of those Storm Z assault forces. Who knows? But anyway, the special, Rise of the Machines, is more or less the same as Snowstorm. You've got a bunch of stuff you can craft. You've got a bunch of fixed upgrades, which in a change don't need the Christmas crackers, whereas all the stuff you can craft needs the Christmas crackers, or crackers. I don't call them Christmas crackers. And you get the crackers from either a mission battle, which is the same as this get the scrap metal with the aircraft, or Rise of the Machines raid, which doesn't cost you fuel to go in, even though it's called a raid. You just get waves and waves of attackers, and you can get electronics and crackers and wires. And it's been good for dealing out big piles of damage to get your clan activity rating up, which is what I've been doing it for mainly. Well, and electronics, I suppose. But if you really wanted electronics, lots and lots of electronics, this was the place to go, although it does get rather tiring rather quickly. Oh, and there's a leaderboard for it as well. Rise of the Machines with a reward, but good luck in getting this. That is about wave 14, 15 maybe. What are they doing to get that far? Who knows? Have they found an exploit? Well, the first bunch did, and then got disqualified. And people back up that score again, a similar score. So maybe they found another exploit, but haven't been publicly shamed yet. But what can you craft on the workbench and sell on the market? That's what we're interested in. That's what this video is about. First, there's a bunch of stickers in a loot crate, and I advise you not to touch the loot crate, the Christmas spirit, with a barge pole, because the chances of getting the really rare one, the legendary, are very, very small. And most of these you can buy off the marketplace. Carnival Mask you can't trade, and Season's Greetings you can't trade, but all the rest you can buy off the marketplace, and most of them for the 10 cents, because people want this sticker, but what they get is one of these blue stickers. And yeah, buy them off the market. You can also craft a bunch of temporary fireworks, which financially are a complete waste of resources because they're not tradable. There's the New Year flare, which is tradable, but you can only put 2 flares on your build, so I got 2. And there's a whole bunch of decor and a whole bunch of paints and a couple of stickers, and then some range decoration for your test range, but these are all old and been around before, and most of them you can actually get them cheaper during the year when they can't be crafted, because people forget how much they cost to craft. They're not being advertised as such by the event, and price corridor shenanigans drag their price down because they're traded in frequently, and people who are desperate for cash sell them off cheap, so the price drops during the year. So my advice, if you fancy any of these decor paints or stickers, then get yourself over to Crossout DB and look at their price over the year and decide whether you need to get them now or whether it's probably going to be cheaper during the rest of the year. And if it's now, then you have a look and see whether you can buy them cheaper off the market right now, which for the bronze that get cheap now and then expensive during the rest of the year, it's commonly cheaper to buy them now off the market than it is to craft them. And bear in mind there is some cost to crackers because, well, if you're getting them from missions, if you're getting them from Rise of the Machines raid, then I suppose you can discount them. But they're still pretty expensive in terms of resources, so do your sums. There are 2 new things on the Lost and Found Explosives workbench to be crafted this year, which you couldn't in previous years, and the first is Engraved Casings. What? And to make engraved casings you need coupons. What? If you've only started playing Crossout in the last year or so, you'll be wondering where on earth these two things come from. Well, the answer is they don't. Until this special, when you can now get engraved casings by using up your coupons, which you can't get anywhere. About a year ago, the devs said, we're going to change engraved casings and coupons, and so we're stopping them coming into the game. And we're not going to tell you what we're going to do with them, and they haven't told us in a year. Which I feel really builds confidence, that sort of uncertainty. It really works. Good on you, devs. But anyway, you can't use coupons for anything until now, but engraved casings you do use, and they are being used up because they're usable in the engineer's secret workshop workbench, and you can make some stickers and decor bits, and most importantly you can make the piercer and the fidget, because they have been used in the last 3 main seasons crafting. So where are we? There you go. There's the fidget used to make the starfall, and then piercers are used in the hummingbird, and petrol, which are used in all the other legendaries. So as you can imagine, the stockpiles of engraved casings have been used up, and the price has gone up. It's hit a peak of 20 before, but it's dropped back down again as people less busy. So there's still fairly large amounts of engraved casings banging around, but obviously the devs think they're starting to run out and it's time to start using up coupons. So I think I shall move a few over. It's not 1-to-1, is it? It's 125 to 100. So let's just get a nice fat stack. And they've now the devs have done this once. I'm sure they're going to do it again. So I'm not going to do all of them. So I've got a bit of versatility. Yep, there. I've got a few more engraved casings for next main season. The other new thing is, there it is Globeduck, which is not tradable. Quite expensive in terms of resources, and it's not tradable. And it's not new. You've never been able to craft it before. It was used as a reward for competitions, but now you can just craft it yourself and then pretend you placed in those competitions from some time ago. The Globeduck isn't just a rare piece of decor that you can't trade. It's actually used as an ingredient on the engineer's secret workshop to make the Ninja Duck, which is also untradable and therefore worthless and rather expensive in terms of resources to make your Globeduck. And then you got a free winter duck off one of the reward tracks, the New Year's Caravan reward track, and then Crew Duck, I believe, came off Mayhem competition rewards, I think. I'm not sure about that. I'd really have to look that up. But anyway, they're all quite expensive to get hold of, or rare or hard to get hold of, and then you use them all up and make one even rarer Ninja Duck, which is, it's just bragging rights really, and quite expensive bragging rights at that. So I wouldn't bother if I were you. Unless, of course, you think that at some point in the future the devs are going to come to their senses and make everything tradable in a free market, a free player-led market. Wouldn't that be nice? And at that point they'd be rather valuable because they're rather rare. Not as rare as rocking horse shit, but pretty rare. Then, after all those craftable things that are mostly untradable, we get to fixed upgrades. So you get a load of parts that you can trade, and you use some expensive uranium. What's the price these days? Expensive uranium, and then you get your fixed upgrades. And yeah, bit boring. So I think I'm going to stop talking now, and I'll see you, well, next snowstorm.